Dear students, we are about to look at the taxable benefit for company cars. Okay, this is a situation where the employer provides a car to the employee. It's not a car for everyone. It is a car for an individual who has earned this benefit because of his designation, and it's a privilege. It's not necessary for the duties of the work, but it is due to the the privilege or the designation that it is a managing director or a higher level employee. Okay, so they get this benefit. The employers are generous to give them. They are generous because they need the employee. So to keep him loyal to the organization, they have provided him with a company car. However, the tax authorities do not see it as something out of generosity. They see it as a taxable benefit, as a benefit that can be taxed. So how do we calculate the taxable value of this benefit? So we have to actually find the cash value. So there is a small procedure. What we do is that we take the list price of the car and we multiply this to a relevant percentage. So here we see that there is a relevant percentage that we need to calculate, and we multiply that to the list price of the car. Okay, now here we need to see that it has to be a list price, even if the employer got the car for a discount. Okay, and then we take away the employee contribution towards the private use. So if employee is making any contribution towards the private use of the car, then that could be deducted. Okay, there are other contributions as well which could be regarded as capital contributions, so those would be deducted from the list price. So as we go along we will see that. Okay, so this is the basic calculation. The list price of the car, we multiply that to the relevant CO2 emission percentage that we're going to calculate, and if employee is making any contribution, that would be deducted, and we will simply come up at the taxable benefit. Okay, so now comes the all important percentages which are relevant to the for the CO2 emission percentages. So let's see how we can understand them. So if we look at these, all these percentages, so we have this yeah. So depending on the nature of the car, these percentages are applied. So if we see, like, there are the cars which emit CO2, so that those emissions would be, if it is 55 grams per kilometer, then there is a base figure of 17%. Okay, but if there is a car that has a CO2 emission of only between 51 to 54 grams, then we use 16%. Okay, but if it is 55 grams, then we use 17%. This is the base figure. Okay, and if a car that has a CO2 emission of more than 55 grams, then we for every 5 gram we add 1%. So as we move on, you will start understanding this. So the cars that have a CO2 emission of between 51 to 54 grams, we apply the 16%, and we apply the 16% on the list price of the car. And if it is 55 grams, we use 17%. And if there is any more grams, like if it is 60 grams, then after 55 it's 5 grams. So for every 5 grams above 55 grams equals to 1%. Okay, so as we move on, you will understand that. We will do plenty of exercises to understand that. Now comes the other area where these are the standard cars which are petrol driven. Okay, now there is another thing which I need to mention, that there are certain diesel cars. If it's a diesel car, then you add 4% to it. Okay, but there are certain diesel cars that meet the RDE2 standard. It's an emission standard. If they meet that standard, then they are treated similar to the petrol driven car, and we do not need to add any additional percentages. Okay, so that would be the same. But if a diesel car that does not meet the RDE2 standard, then we add 4% to it. Okay, so as we make progress, we will understand all this treatment. Okay, so we will do the activities to understand this. So now we have the percentage for the electric car with CO2 emission rate is 3%. Okay, so there are cars which have zero CO2 emission. So for them, the CO2 percentage is 3%. Okay, and then there comes the hybrid electric cars where the CO2 emissions vary between 1 to 50 grams, because we've already seen that if it is 51 to 54, it's 16%. But when it is between 1 to 50 grams, these are about the hybrid cars. Okay. And one more thing that is comforting is that all this information will be provided in the exam. So do not have to worry about it. So you do not have to learn these things. All those rates will be provided. The electric range for the car is relevant. For example, if it is for electric range that has this CO2 emission of 1 to 50 grams, we see the electric range. So the electric range is 130 miles and more, between 70 and 129 miles, between 40 to 69 miles, and 30 to 39. So it will be between 1 to 50 grams, and then it will be dependent on the grams, on the miles, that is 130, 70 to 129, 40 to 69, 30 to 39. And if it is less than 30 miles, then it is 15%. Okay, so this information will be provided as we move along. We will see that. So these would be available in the exam. You just have to apply them to the list price of the car. Okay, so let's see. Let's move along how we understand these. So if we see, so as I said, the relevant percentages will be provided in the exam. Okay, there is this table provided where you have the tax rates and the allowances. Okay. Okay, so this concept that I was giving, that if it is 55 grams, but if it is more than 55 grams, so then for every 5 grams you add 1%. Okay, so the base figure is 55, where for this 55 you add 17%, and the maximum that you can have is 37%. Okay, and I told you that there is a 4% surcharge for diesel cars which do not meet the RDE2 standard. So this is a reinforcement of what I told you above. The company cars meeting RDE2 standard are treated as if they were petrol cars. The percentage rates, including the lower rate of 16%, are increased by 4%. So for example, if there is a car which has a CO2 emission of 51 to 54 grams, and it's a diesel car that does not meet the RDE2 standard, you add the 4%. Okay, the maximum percentage that we can have is 37%. So you must be thinking how we could have the maximum percent, because, for example, if a car has a CO2 emission of, say, 200 grams, so we're going to take the 200 and we're going to deduct the 55, and whatever is excess, we're going to divide it by 5, and we're going to have the percentages added to the base figure of 17. Okay, again, let's look at the specific example to understand. So here, first of all, let's see, there's another thing that we need to consider, that we need to round down the CO2 emission percentages. You see, you have this example that if the CO2 emission is 144 grams, so we are not going to take it, and we are going to round it down to 140 grams. Okay, we're not going to make it 145. We're going to round it down to 140. Okay, and because we have to see 5 grams, for every 5 grams there is 1%. So either it's going to be 140 or 145. So if it is 144, we're going to consider it as 140. Okay, so it's a very simple example coming up that is going to help us understand. It's a very basic thing. As we look at this example, you will be more at ease. Okay, so here we have this thing where there is a petrol company car has CO2 emission of 152 grams. Now we're going to round it down to 150 grams, okay, which is here. We're not going to make it 155. We're going to 150 is equal to 150. Now we see for 55 grams, it's a basic base figure of 17%. And for every gram that is above 55 would raise 1%. So we say the total grams are 150. The base is 55 grams. So whatever is the value is 95. 150 minus 55 is 95. We divide 95 by 5, we get 19%, or we can say we multiply to percentage. So the base figure is 17. We add the 19 to it, and we arrive at the figure which is 36%. Okay, so this is less than 37. If it is more than 37, we would restrict it to 37, but it is 36. So this is okay. We're going to use that. And if this was a diesel fueled car, which did not meet the RDE2 standard, if the car was a diesel fueled car not meeting the RDE2 standard, then we would add the 4% to 36 and we would arrive at 40%, but we are going to restrict it to 37. So that is the maximum that we can charge. Okay, so list price multiplied by 37%, not 40%. So it is restricted. Okay, so we take this one. We do not consider the 40 because the maximum that we can have is 37%. Okay, now, so what do we do to this percentage? We multiply this percentage to the list price of the car. So let's see how we can understand that. Let's see. So there are certain more aspects to it which we need to consider. You see how do we calculate the list price? As I told you, that is the list price, and you do not consider any discounts. This comprises the original manufacturer's list price plus any cost of the optional extras. Now, these optional extras, if they are above 100 pounds, then they would be added to the cost of the car. Okay, so here the optional extras, for example, you might get some accessories. They have to be above 100 to be added to the cost. Okay, that is fitted after delivery. If capital contributions are made by employee towards the purchase of the car, so now this is the contribution I mentioned at the start. Like, one contribution is for use, one contribution is called capital contribution. When the car is being bought, so this contribution would be made. The maximum contribution that an employee can make is 5,000. And this is lower of, for example, the employee has made a contribution of 2,000, then we're going to consider that. Otherwise, if he has made a contribution of 6,000, then we are going to apply the maximum of 5,000. So this would be deducted from the list price. So the list price of the car minus the contribution, that is the capital contribution, and we multiply that to the CO2 emission percentage. Okay. And then, it again comes back, the payments that come up, the annual contributions, those would be deducted. So as we move on, we will see in the examples all of this thing. Okay. Now let's see, there are certain expenses, like the certain payments like car insurance, they are included in the taxable benefit. We do not add extra something. Okay. So this should not be confused with any capital contributions. Okay. Capital contributions are different. That is the time when the car was bought. But these are the car insurance. These would be covered under the taxable benefit that we calculate. Okay. Okay. So now we move on to the next thing. If an employee is provided with 2 company cars, so each car is assessed separately according to its separate CO2 emission and manufacturer's list price. Okay, so we do not say that it's only one. Whichever car is provided, we treat it separately. Okay. If the next issue, if the company is not available for any specific period, that a period of consecutive 30 days would be considered the absence. Okay, so we will be doing the pro rata working. For example, if it is not available for 30 days, then we would be doing the calculation for 11 months. Okay, so we would be proportionately reducing the taxable benefit. Now again, the car benefits covers all costs associated with having a car, such as road tax, insurance, repairs, etc. The only cost that will result in the additional benefit is a chauffeur. Okay, if you're provided with a driver, that raises an extra benefit. Okay, so and then we come to the pool car. Pool car is a car which is provided to all the employees. For pool car, we do not do this calculation. Okay, this is only the calculation where a car is provided to a single employee. So to understand these, we have this example. Okay, so let's see.